Today we're going to cover 4.3, 4.4, and 4.5. 4.3 is multiplication. It's going to be an easy concept. I think you'll breeze through it, I think. We'll see. Multiplication. Okay. And what it is multiplication of decimals. You already know how to multiply, right? So multiplication of decimals. So you're going to do your regular multiplication, then all you got to do is move your decimal after you got the answer. So if you have a problem like 234, well, make that 2.34 times 1.12. Do the same multiplication as you would have if there wasn't a decimal. 2 times 4 is 8, 2 times 3 is 6, 2 times 2 is 4. Leave a space here, then go 1 or a 0 or a space, however you do it, it doesn't matter. 1 times 4, 1 times 3, 1 times 2. And then 2 spaces or 2 zeros. 1 times 4, 1 times 3, and 1 times 2. It's very important to keep them lined up. If you don't, you'll see that you've made a lot of mistakes in the past just because you added the wrong numbers. Okay, 8, 6 and 4 is 10. 4, 8, 9, 12. 3, 4, 5, 6. And the 2. Okay, now there's no decimal in the answer yet. What you're going to do is count how many decimals are behind, how many numbers are behind the decimal. That's how far you're going to move it. You have 1, 2, 3, 4. So from the right side, go 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's where your decimal goes. If only one number has decimals, say you had 2.34 times 1, 1, 2, all of this part's going to be the same. You still do the same multiplication, so you're still going to have the same numbers down here. But if there wasn't decimals here, you only had to move it back twice. So you just move it back to right there. So that still had all the same work in here. It's the same numbers as this, so it has the same work here, the same numbers down here. You just had 2 numbers here, so you only moved it twice. Everybody see that? Okay. Okay, let's say we multiply by a decimal that's like 0.1, 0.01, something like that. 2.34, what if we multiply it by 0.1? Okay, you're going to be able to do this without even showing your work because you're going to see what's going to happen to them every time. 1 times 4, 1 times 3, 1 times 2. Okay, there's 1, 2, 3 numbers. So 1, 2, 3. If it starts with a decimal, what do you do?
Have a 0.
Put a 0 in front. Okay. See how when you multiply by 0.1, it moved your decimal back 1 time. These numbers didn't change. It just moved from right here to right here. Okay, let's do the same number times 0.01. Same numbers, right? Still have the 2, 3, 4. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this answer would be 0.0234. Okay, if there's 2 numbers here, if you have a 0.1, 0.01, 0.001, can we guess what the next answer is going to be? You're going to have a 2, 3, 4. If you have the same thing times 0.001. Okay, see this one? We moved it one time. The first one, we moved it one time. This one, we moved it 2 times. See, from here, 2 times. So this one, we're going to move it 3 more times. 1, 2, 3. So it was already right here. 1, 2, 3. Okay? So if it has one more 0 in front, you're going to move it another time, right? So what you do is you take the number, let's take a different number, 5.78. Say we're going to multiply it times 0.0001. Okay, count even counting the 1, count how many numbers here are behind the decimal. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to move that decimal back 4 times. See, in this one, we moved it back 1 time. This one, from here, we moved it back 2 times. So this one, we're going to have our 578. We're going to move it back 4 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that making sense? Okay, let's put one sideways. 6.42 times 0.001. Without having to do the multiplication, you should be able to get this answer. Okay, write this number down, 6642. The point was here. We're going to move it 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Everybody see why that worked? Okay. Alrighty. Let's do, how about, that's multiplying by a decimal. What about if you have times 10 times 100? What about that same number, 2.34? What if we multiplied it times 10? Last time we moved it this way. What do you think it's going to do this time?
Go to back.
It's going to go to the right. If you're multiplying it by 10, it's getting bigger, 10 times bigger. So if you moved it 1 time, it'll be 23.4. That looks like it's 10 times bigger, right? How about times 100? We moved it once there. That was how many zeros there were, huh? So we must be going to move it 2 times for 100, right? 1, 2. We have 234. And what if the number's 2.34? Let's make it with 4 zeros. What's that going to do? It's going to move it 4 times, right? Okay, we have 1, 2. What are we going to do there?
Add the zeros.
Add zeros, right. So your answer is 23400, and then go back and put your comma where it belongs. Okay? So if you multiply by 0.1, it's going to move it back to it'll move it to the left. So this is 1/10, moves it back 1. 1/100 moves it back 2. When you're doing multiples of 10, you just count the zeros to see how far you move it. If you want to go through multiplying and, doing the whole multiplication thing, if you want to show all that work and do it, you can, but it's not necessary. On your homework, you should be able to just move your decimal and just show little marks where you moved it. That's all you got to do for showing work. Okay. 10 to a power, like large numbers, It says naming large numbers, because there's some numbers here that have, like 10 to the second power. 10 to the 1 is just 10, right? 10 to the second power, 100. 10 to the third power,
1,000.
10 to the fourth power, add another 0. That has 4 zeros. See, that has 1 0, 2 zeros, 3 zeros. So 10 to a power actually is telling you how many zeros there is there, right? Okay, how about 10 to the 12? That means you're going to have 12 zeros, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, how would you say, this is your hundreds, thousands, millions? What's after millions?
Billions.
This is millions, this is billions.
Trillions.
So this is 1 trillion. Which, if it has 12 zeros, is 1 trillion. Okay, that's pretty much all of, oh, there's dollars and cents. Converting from dollars to cents. Okay, I'm going to do one that's pretty obvious. 0.50. How would you write that in cents?
Move your decimal over 1
1?
to your left. Yeah.
So if you read that off of a price tag, what would you say? How much does it cost?
50 cents.
50 cents. If it was 0.75, 75 cents. Okay, so you moved it 2 times to the right, actually. Okay, if it was 1.25, that would be 125 cents. Okay, so to change it from dollars into cents, all you got to do is move your decimal 2 times. So if it was $12.38, be 1238. 1,238 cents, right? Okay, now let's go from cents backwards. Let's say we had 25 cents. How would you write that with the dollar sign?
Move your decimal over to your left.
2 times. Not all the way, because sometimes all the way is too far. 2 times. Okay, how about 142 cents? What would that be in dollars?
$1.42.
$1.42, right. Okay? So y'all won't have trouble converting there. All right. And that's all the new stuff. There's a little bit of skills maintenance on there. Okay, 4.4 is division. Okay. If you have a decimal, this is division of decimals. You already know how to divide. Division of decimals. Say you have the number 24.64 and you want to divide it by 8. Okay, if it's written like this, you need to go ahead and write it with this number, the first number, under your division sign. Okay, 24.64, you're dividing it by 8, with the 8 on the outside. If there's no decimal on the outside, this is going to stay right where it's at. Just bring it straight up into your answer. Okay, 8 won't go into 2. 8 into 24?
3.
3 is 24. So nothing, there's nothing there. We bring our 6 down. Will 8 go into 6?
No.
Don't forget to put your 0 up there if it won't go into it. Okay, bring the next number down. 8 into 64. goes right above the 4, the last number. And that came out even. So this divided by this is 3.08. Okay, let's do the same division with the decimal on the outside. Let's do the 24.64 divided by 0.8. Okay, the first number still goes under your division, 24.64. This number still goes on the outside. Okay, what changes is you need to make the outside number a whole number. Before you start dividing, this has to be a whole number. So to make it a whole number, to make it 8, we have to move our decimal to the end. If we have moved this number, or this decimal, we move this decimal once, we have to move this one the same direction one time. Okay? Bring our decimal straight up in our answer. We're going to still have the same numbers that we had on the one before. We'll still have 308 up there. Okay? So we still start with 3 right here. 3 times 8 is 24. Bring our 6 down, it's still 0. Bring our 4 down, that's 8 above the 4. See, it has the same answer as the one before, it just moved the decimal. It's 30.8. Okay? So before you do any dividing, you've got to make the outside number into a whole number. Let's see. Let's do some where we have to add. Let's do 12 divided by 0.64. Okay. Which number goes under our division sign? Always the first number. 12. 0.64 will be on the outside. Okay, we have to move this to make it a whole number. If we have to move this twice, what do we do inside?
Move it twice.
If there's no decimal, it means it's at the end of the number. So it's here, we need to move it 2 times. Move that decimal up into our answer. Don't forget to put the zeros here for the spaces. Okay, 64, it will not go into 12. How about 120?
Yes.
Not quite 2, is it? It's just 1. 1 times 64. Now we need to borrow to make this 10, so we have to borrow from this one, which is 11. Okay, 10 minus 4 is 6, 11 minus 6 is 5. Okay, bring our 0 down, 64 into 560. Okay, let's look at the 6. How many times will we put 6 into 56?
9 times.
Probably about 9. Let's try 9 and see if it's big, too big, big enough, whatever. We would have went 9 times. 9 times 4 is 36. 9 times 6 is 54 plus 3. That's too big. Let's leave it there in case we need it for later. We'll go down to the 8. 8 times 4, 32. There's 48, 49, 50, 51. That one's big enough. It's not too big. That one was too big. So we'll use the 8. 8 times 64 is 512 that we just found. When we subtract that, we have to borrow. 10 minus 2 is 8. 5 minus 1 is 4. Okay, it's not done. We need to keep adding zeros here. If it's not, if it doesn't stop with where it's equal, keep adding zeros. Unless it tells you to stop at the 10th or 100th, keep going until it stops or repeats. Okay, 480 would be, let's try the one under 8. 64 times 7. 7 times 4 is 28. 7 times 6? 42. Plus 2 is 44. That's why you need to know your multiplications, okay? And this one, we'll use 7. It's not too big. 7 times 64 is 448. We need to borrow again. 10 minus 8 is 2. 7 minus 4 is 3. Okay, it's going to be less than 7. Let's try 6. 6 times 4, 24. 6 times 6, 36, 37, 38. Too big. 64 times 5. 5 times 4, 20. 5 times 6, 30. 1, 2. Perfect. And it finally ended because it came out exact. So there's your answer right there. 18.75. So if it stops, don't put remainder. Add a 0 and keep dividing. Okay. It also goes into solving equations that have decimals. So you have 3x equals 15.6. And how would you solve this equation? The x was multiplied by 3. So what do you do to solve it?
Divide by 3.
Divide by 3. The opposite is multiplying by 3. That's how you show it right there. You put divide by 3. We need to do this division. 15.6, the top one is the one that goes under the division sign, divided by 3. Bring your decimal up. 3 into 15, 5 times. Bring the 6 down, 3 into 6.
2
is 2. So it's 5.2. Okay? And if you have order of operations for decimals, it's the same as order of operations for regular numbers. It's still, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, parentheses, exponents, multiply and divide,
left to right,
left to right. Add and subtract,
left to right.
left to right. So you're going to use the same thing, order of operations. Let's say you have a problem 5 minus 0.06, divide that by 2, add 3.42 times 0.1. Okay, don't let it freak you out that this is, oops, you can't hardly see it. Let me shrink it a little bit. There we go. Okay, don't let it freak you out that it's long. Just start out with the first thing, parentheses. Okay, 5 minus 0.06. Okay, so let's do that. 5, the decimal is going to be right here, right? 0 point. Add and subtract, you have to line up your decimal. Don't forget to line it up. 0.06. We need something up here to subtract from. Let's make this into zeros. 5 minus 0.06. We have to borrow. You don't just put 6 and 0 here. You have to have something to subtract 6 from. So make this one 10. What does this become?
9,
And this one?
4,
10 minus 6 is 4.
4. 9,
9 minus 0 is 9.
4.
So this part right here is 4.94. Rewrite the rest of it just like it was. done. There's no exponents or square roots. So now we're going to multiply and divide from left to right. The first thing we come across is a divide. So let's do 4.94 divided by 2. 4.94 divided by 2. Let's bring that decimal up. 2 into 4 is 2. It's 4. Bring the 9 down. 2 into 9. 4. 4 times 2 is 8. Subtract. Bring this 4 down. 2 into 14. Bless you.
Thank you.
2 into 14 is 7. Okay, so that's 2.47. Plus, we're going to be doing this one next, so let's go ahead and just do it now, instead of writing it over again and then underlining it. 3.42 times 0.1. Which direction do we move it when it's a decimal, left or right? Left. So how many times? Just one time. So we're going to move it once, so it'll be 0.342. We'll put a 0 in front of that. 0.342. And then just add those. Make sure you line up the decimal when you're adding. So 0.342 added to the 2.47. 2 with plus 0 is 2. 7 plus 4, 11. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bring that decimal straight down. 2 plus 0 is 2. So that would be your final answer. So it's still the same order of operations, and it's always going to stay the same order of operations. Whether it be whole numbers, fractions, decimals, square roots, whatever it is, you're always going to use the same order of operations. So get used to them. They're probably going to be on every test you have from now on. Okay, that was 4.4. We have one more section. 4.5. 4.5 is converting from fractions to decimals. You're going from a fraction to a decimal. Okay, let's do the simple one. 1/2. You already know what it is, don't you? The fraction 1/2? 0.5, right? Okay, how can we get that if we don't already know it? What can we do with these two numbers? Divide. Top divided by bottom. 1 divided by 2. That makes your decimal go right here. 2 won't go into 1. Add a 0. 2 into 10 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. So that's how you do it. Top divided by the bottom. So what if you have 3/5? You can go 3 divided by 5. Bring that decimal up, add the 0. 5 into 30? 6 times. Okay? This is one way of doing it, is to do the division. Another way of doing it is to make it into multiples of 10, the denominator here. 3/5, you could make it into tenths, right? By multiplying the bottom by 2, the top times 2, 3 times 2 is 6. 6/10, see the 6 is in your tenths place. So you could do it like that. Let's do like 7/20. We could divide 7 by 20, or we could make the bottom into a multiple of 10. 20 goes into 100. 20 times what?
5.
20 times 5 is 100, right? 7 times 5 is 35. A decimal of 35 hundredths means that this last number would be in your hundredths place. Tenths, hundredths, we could just put the 35 right there, tenths, hundredths. It's going to come out the same if you divide it. Okay? If you don't want to do it this way, do the division. Do 7 divided by 20. 20 into 7 would be 3. 3 times 20 is 60. And then 20 into 100 is 5. It's going to come out the same answer. Okay? So that's 2 different ways of doing it. If you don't have a number on bottom that will go into 10, 100,000, whatever, then you have to do the division. Okay? Like 7/8, you have to do the division. So this one you'd have to do 7 divided by 8. This one is actually 3 numbers long. 8 into 70 goes 8 times. 8 times 8 is 64. And when you borrow, you get 6. Or when you subtract, you get 6. Bring a 0 down. 8 into 60 is 7. What's 7 times 8?
56.
56. Subtract, you get 4. 8 into 40. 5. So that one ends after 3 numbers. Okay. Let's say, what if you have a calculation, you have a fraction and a decimal in the same problem? Let's say you have 2/3 times 0.576. Okay, you can either convert 2/3 into decimal or convert this one, the decimal, into a fraction. If you do 2/3 as a decimal, 2/3, 1/3 or 2/3 repeats. It's the same number repeating, so it's going to be hard to get an exact answer that way. So your best bet would be to turn this number into a fraction. Okay? This is tenths, hundredths, thousandths. If your last number is in the thousandths, you put 576 thousandths. Does that make sense? Okay? So now you have 2/3 times 576 1,000ths. Okay, if you can do any division before you do all that multiplication, you're better off. The 2 will divide into 1,000, right? Let's do that. Divide by 2, divide by 2. What was the rule to see if a number divides by 3? You add the digits. 5 and 7 is 12 plus 6 is 18. 3 goes into 18, doesn't it?
Yes.
So 3 is going to divide into that. Let's divide 3 into that number. Divide by 3 here is 1. Divide this by 3. Okay, 3 into 5 is 1. 5 minus 3 is 2. 3 into 27?
9.
9. Came out perfect. And then 3 into 6?
2.
2. Okay, so this is 192. Okay, we could still do some dividing here. You could do top and bottom also. They both divide by 2, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's divide by 2. 192 divided by 2. 9 times 2 is 18, right? And then 12 is 6. If you divide this by 2, you get 96. 500 divided by 2 is 250. 2 into 50 is 25, right? And then add that 0. Okay. I don't see anything right offhand you could divide. This would divide by 5 or 10, that won't. This divides by 2. Oh, we could do 2, can't we? Let's divide by 2 again. 96 divided by 2 is 48. What, 250 divided by 2? 125. Now we have a 48 and a 125. Now they're not even anymore. 2 won't go. 3 would go into this. It adds up to 12. Will 3 go into this? 5, 6, 7, 8. 3 won't go into 8. Okay. 4 would go into that. 4 will not go into this. The last 2 digits, they won't divide by 4. 5 will, 5 won't. Okay. I think we're done. 48 over 125. And when you do an answer that has fractions and decimals mixed together, you could write it as a fraction and a decimal. It could be one way or the other. So you would do 48 divided by 125. Well, let's just make it into thousands. 125 times, what is it? 4, 5? What do you multiply that by to get 1,000? 8, 6, 7? I think it's 8 times, isn't it? 125 times 8. 8 times 5 is 40. 8 times 2 is 16. Plus 4 is 20. 8, 9, 10. So do it times 8, and it'll be real easy to convert back to decimal. Times 8 here. 48 times 8. 8 times 8 is 64. There's 32 plus 6. 38. So 384 1,000ths, which is 384. Is that going to be enough, or do we need tenths, hundredths, thousandths? That's good. It's in the thousandths place. So this is the decimal of it, and this is the reduced fraction right there. Another way you could do it is you could do that 2/3 times, you could just multiply the top, multiply the bottom, just put that over 1. Say 2 times 0.576, 2 times 6, 18, 2 times 7 is 14, that's 15, 10, 11. I believe that's right. No, this 2 times 6 is 12. Does that look right now?
Yeah.
Then when you do that divided by that, 1.152 divided by 3, you get the 0.384. So you could do it that way if you would rather. Okay? And I believe that's it now. Look through your homework, see if anybody has any questions first. Oh, I do have, there's on your homework on 4.5, look at page number 260. Page 260, on the B part, there's A and B part. On the B part, it's telling you to do, I want you to number, like number 25 on A part is also 37 on B part. This is the A that's already numbered. It's going to be 37 for B. So 26 for A will be 38 for B. It told you to do 39, so that's going to be the 27. The 39 that you have to do will be the 27. Because the B part tells you to round each answer to the nearest tenth, hundredth, and thousandth. Okay? So when you have to round them to the tenth, hundredth, and thousandth, you have to use the answer from number 27. Like let's do number 26, that wasn't required. Number 26 was 7 ninths. When you actually do that division, you get the repeating decimal, 0.7777, okay? Now that would be like your answer to 26 would be this. If you had to do number 38, you would have 3 answers. 1 to the 10th, 1 to the 100th, and 1 to the 1000th. Okay, so rounding this number to the 10th, you would look at the next number, it would be 0.8, right? Because the next number would be bigger than 5. 5 or bigger, so it would be 0.8. If you rounded it to the 100th, you'd leave the 7 here. This 7, would it stay or go up?
Go up.
You go up. All these are going to go up because it's 7s, right? 10th, 100th, 1000th, the third number here. You leave the 2 7s here and round 100. Okay, so the B part of this, you're going to have 3 answers. You're going to be rounding the numbers above to the 10th, 100th, and the 1000th. So when you had to do 39, that was your 27. When you had to do 42, did you have to do 42? 43. When you had to do number 43, that was from number 31. And I think you had to do 46. Your number 46 is 34. Okay. If you want to just, in pencil, start at 25, put 37, 38, 39, 40, you'll be able to figure out which number goes with what. No? Okay. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Okay, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. These are the A problems. That's whatever. This is from the regular problems. On B, it tells you we had to do number 39, but we got to figure out which one to do here. Start here with 37. 26 will be 38. This will be 39. This will be 40, 41, 42, like that. 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48. Okay? Go ahead and put them in pencil. You can leave them in there because if the next person that gets the book has problems in the B section, they're going to need to know which one it goes with. It's not going to hurt to have those in pencil. And if you want to erase them, that's fine, but they'll have to figure it out too. Okay. That's all I see. What do you see that you want to ask questions over? You want to do another one of the order of operations with mixed fractions and decimals both? Yeah? Okay. You have some of those on page 262 that you have to do anyway. We'll do one that you didn't have to do, okay? You have to do number 80. Let's do number 79. Okay, number 79 is 4/5 times 384.8 plus 24.8 divided by 8/3. Okay. Order of operations tells you you're going to be doing parentheses, which you don't have, exponents you don't have. Multiply and divides, right? You're going to be doing the multiply, and then actually you'll be doing the divide right after that. when you do this multiplication, do you want to just put it over 1? Does that seem like the simpler way? And just do 4 times this and then 5 times 1? Okay, we'll put 5 on the bottom. 5 times 1 is 5. We couldn't divide. I already looked at that. Okay, 4 times 384.8. 384.8 times 4. 4 times 8 is 32. 4 times 4 is 16, 17, 18, 19. 4 times 8, 32, and 1 is 33. 12, 13, 14, 15. There's only one decimal, so we're going to have 1539.2 over 5. Plus, this one is a division. Why don't we can either multiply by the reciprocal or turn this into decimal and then do long division. We don't want to do long division, huh? Let's turn that, flip it over. We're going to change dividing a fraction into multiplying the reciprocal. Okay? Okay. 8 will divide. That will make it easier. We can divide 8 into this. Divide by 8 is 1. Divide this by 8. 8 into 24. 3. We're dividing by 8. So 8 into 24 is 3. And then 8 into 8 is 1. 3.1. Okay, now we have 3.1 times 3. And that's going to be over 1, so that's going to be a whole number, right? Just 3.1 times 3. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. We need our decimal. There's just one number, so it's right there. So it's 9.3 right here. Okay, this one, just do that division. And you'll have a decimal to put right here. Okay, we have 1539.2 divided by 5. 5 into 15 is 3. 5 into 3, it won't go, it's 0. 5 into 39, 7 is 35. 4, bring the 2 down. 5 into 42 is 8. We need to bring that decimal out right there. 8. 8 times 5 is 40. Okay, 2, bring the 2 down. Add a 0. 5 into 20 is 4, right? And now you're done. So this number is your decimal for this right here. We have 307.84 plus 9.3. Adding decimals, all you gotta do is line them up, right? Yeah, you could put a 0, but it doesn't matter. 4 plus 0 is 4. 8 plus 3?
11.
11. Bring that decimal. 17. 1. And 3. So there's your answer. If you look in the back, the answer would be your answer to number 79. Should be 317.14. Okay? Any other questions that you can see right now? One more of these, like this, okay. Okay, let me look. Maybe another odd one, maybe? Number 80, well, 82 is not odd. You have to do 81. Make sure you check your answer in the back when you do 81, because that is odd. Okay, 82 is another one that's a mixed one. And I'll tell you whether it's right or not, because I have the answer book right here. Okay, 117.95 divided by 5/8 plus 3/4 times 16.2. Okay, no parentheses, no exponents, so we're multiplying and dividing. We're going to be doing that one, and we're going to be doing that one. Okay, divide, we're going to change it into multiplying by the reciprocal. So leave this one, we'll put it over 1. Multiply by the reciprocal of this. Let's go ahead and write this other one. We'll have 3/4 times 16.2 over 1. That's not going to divide by 4, is it? We could divide these by 2 though, right? We could divide by 2. It's 2.
16 will divide by 4.
16, but 0.2 won't. Yeah. But we could divide by 2. Divide by 2, and then 16 divided by 2 is 8. So 16.2 divided by 2 is 8.1. So now that one's going to come out to this 3 times 8.1 over 2 times 1. So 3 times 8.1 is the top number. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 8 is 24. And don't forget your decimal. Okay. So we have that one that far. We still need to multiply this one. All we did a while ago was flipped it. Can we divide before we do any multiplication? The 5, right? We could divide by 5. Divide by 5, 17.95 divided by 5, 3 times is 15, subtract is 2, bring the 9. 5 into 29? 5. We need to bring that decimal up so we don't forget it. 5 times 5 is 25. Subtract is 4, bring the 5 down. 5 into 45? 9. Okay, so 5 will go 3.59 times. That'll keep us from having to divide it later, like we're going to have to do this one. With 1 on bottom, this will be a whole number now. Okay, so 3.59 times 8 will be our number, because that's over 1. So we have 3.59 times 8. 8 times 9 is 72. 8 times 5, 40 plus 7. 8 times 3, 24 plus 4 is 28. Our decimal is 2 back, so we'll bring it back twice. 28.72. And this number, we need to do that division. 24.3 divided by 2. Okay, 24.3 divided by 2. 2 into 2 is 1. 2 into 4 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. And then 2 into 3? 1. We need to bring that decimal up. Okay, this is 1 left over. Are we going to put remainder?
No, you have to add a 0.
No, we need to keep going. 2 into 10? 5. And now it came out even. 12.15 is what? 24.3 divided by 2. This part right here. 24.3 divided by 2 is 12.15. Okay? To add them, what do we need to do? Line up our decimals. And then that's the easy part. 5 plus 2, 7 plus 1, 8 plus 2, and then we have 40. So it's 40.87, and that's the answer that's in the grade book. On number 86, you have a mixed number times a decimal. Let's do number 85, it has a mixed number also. 6.84 divided by 2.5. Okay, don't forget, before you do any flipping, you have to make that improper. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So this is 5 halves. You're dividing by 5 halves. So you're multiplying by the reciprocal, right? 6.84 times the reciprocal. Putting the 2 on top. Put that over 1. Can't do any dividing. So let's just do straight across. 6.84 times 2. And 2 times 4 is 8. 2 is 8 is 16. There's 12 and 1 is 13. There's 2 numbers. So bring our decimal back twice. So we have 13.68 on top. 1 times 5 on bottom. Now all we have to do is a division. So we do 13.68 divided by 5. Bring that decimal up so we don't forget. 5 into 13 is 2. 5 times 2 is 10. Subtract. We have 3. Bring our 6 down. 5 into 36.
7.
7 times 5. 35. We have 1. Bring our 8 down. 5 into 18.
3.
3. 3 times 5 is 15. 3. So we have to add a 0. 5 into 30
6.
is 6. Now we're done. We divided this by 5, so our answer is 2.736. Okay, I think that'll be enough examples. You go ahead and start your work. If you want to do some more later, we will.